Now, it's important for us to understand the nature of knowledge, having explained the cadres of knowledge. So, when knowledge comes to you, you can isolate it and you can define it that this one is truly spiritual knowledge. Because every spiritual knowledge has a nature. And so, I give you three nature or essence of spiritual knowledge very quickly as we proceed. The first thing that characterizes spiritual knowledge is that spiritual knowledge, like I said from the beginning, is not informative. It is life or death oriented. When you touch spiritual knowledge, the proof is that a kind of life will emerge. If it is of God. But if it is not of God, a kind of death will begin to emerge. This is why we teach innocent believers. The songs you hear and the things you see, they are capsules of death. The spirits are intelligent. So what they do is that they look for the resonance posture of a generation. There's a generation that loves speed and high energy. So when they are able to discern the frequency at which that generation resonates, they now create different conveyors of death through knowledge, and they channel it on that frequency. And so every music that is high, you know, there used to be a time where jazz was reigning, jazz. And so people, they will be playing it. When they hit the crescendo, everybody becomes like a mad person. Now, they will leave that place and go and divorce. They will leave that place and go and kill. They will leave that place and become reckless and run into ghastly accidents. They didn't know that that music was piping recklessness. They didn't know that music was piping death. So the substance of that music is not the sound. The sound is a conveyor. And they have understood through demonic intelligence that that frequency of sound is what moves that generation. So they pump all their power and realities through that economy. And as it touches the generation, touches the people, you will find death littered everywhere. It's an intelligence of spirits. Everything that carries knowledge or intelligence is a conveyor of life or death. So the first nature of knowledge is that knowledge is a conveyor of life and death. In fact, you don't have knowledge because you have information. You have knowledge because you have life. And you have knowledge because you have death. If you have not touched life, or if you have not touched death, you don't have knowledge. In the realm of the spirit, you are illiterate. You can recite all the principles. When you finish talking, they are finding if you have been able to touch life on this particular corridor. If I'm talking about giving, for example, a spirit is not moved that my exegesis is correct. But they want to find out, if I deploy this, my knowledge of giving, what result will it produce? Will God be honored? Will God be glorified? And will it produce a harvest? So they will be watching. So somebody can come and give out of pride. They know he doesn't know giving. He's an illiterate in the corridor of giving, because that is giving does not ascribe honor to God. It ascribes honor to self. That giving produces ego. So that's not the kind of giving. Even though he did it in a church way, it's not God's kind of giving. Because the spirit will be checking the result that giving will produce. If he gives, the spirit wants to find out, let's watch if there will be a harvest. If that guy gives and miraculously something else happens on account of that giving, the spirit knows this man understands this subject. And so what you want to do now will be to attack his faith around that subject, because he knows he's not just talking, he has knowledge. So spiritual knowledge is either life or it is death. And so any dimension of truth that you sustain or ascribe to, if it doesn't produce life, you don't know it. And if it is in darkness, if it doesn't produce death, you don't know it. So the first nature of knowledge is that knowledge is life and knowledge is death. And so in Genesis 2:17, he said, don't touch this fruit. This fruit is called, this tree is called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The day you touch it, you will not know something, no. You will die. If it is about knowing something only, we can reformat your brain. But if you touch it, if you eat it, you will die. The result of this knowledge is death. The man thought it was a joke. When he eventually ate it, the immortals gathered again and say, now the man has taken from this tree and eaten and has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He said, therefore, he must be sent out of the garden before he goes to touch the tree of life. That means knowledge is life or death. If the man touched the tree of life, he will be carrying life and death at the same time. And that cannot happen. It's against the law of creation. Life and death can't coexist. Just the way light and darkness cannot coexist. So what the immortals did was to quickly expel him from the presence of God. You have touched it. You don't know something. Now you will die. So the foundation of death is knowledge. The foundation of life is knowledge. So when you are exploring knowledge, your goal should not be what you come back to quote. Your goal should be the quality of life you exude, because that is the testimony that you have made contact with that knowledge. Number two, the nature of knowledge, or the essence of knowledge, is that knowledge is the seal of glory and is also the seal of shame. You know, spiritual things is hard to explain. There is a knowledge you will come into now. Suddenly people will look at you. They will start respecting you differently. They won't know why. And there's a knowledge you will come into. People will look at you. And your life will just become a reproach. No matter how you try to package, they'll say, forget it. That one has nothing. Because knowledge is the capsule of glory in the spirit realm. Hope you know, when Adam touched that tree, there was never a place in the Bible when they said, this man now has information. If you check scriptures, the way the immortals were judging this matter, it was never about information. The first thing they said was that you will die. The second thing they now said was, for all have sinned and falling short of the glory of God. In Romans 3:23. So the moment that man entered another kind of knowledge, something happened. He became naked. Because what covered him was glory. So knowledge is a covering in the spirit. And that covering is a glory, is a garment of glory. And so when a man begins to go deeper in the knowledge of God, he will not increase in information. It's only a baby that thinks information is powerful. In the realm of the spirit, it's not. The reason information is powerful among men is because men are naturally illiterate. Truth is hid from men. So when you say something, the reason you feel powerful is because others don't know it. If you come to the realm of spirit, that thing you are saying, everybody knows it. So nobody will be moved. But when you come, they want to check how much glory do you carry. They will check your brightness. Your brightness is the sign that you carry something that others don't carry. It's a seal in the spirit. It's a seal. And the moment Adam touched the knowledge he was not supposed to touch, he discovered he was naked. Glory had gone. And he hid himself. When God showed up, he was ashamed. He was afraid because he touched another knowledge. That means if he kept the knowledge that was given to him, he would have walked in honor as a prince. So if you are looking for glory in this life, you need knowledge. Not information, knowledge. If your knowledge of God begins to increase on your job, your honor level will increase. Your glory level will increase. You will not, the people will not know what is happening. Meanwhile, they know this in darkness. You are coming for a board of directors meeting, and you stroll with suit and tie. Another person went and slept in the grave. And two of you came into the office. All of you are wearing ash color suit. But the moment that guy talks, everybody keeps quiet. You don't know why everybody is afraid. His words came with weight and suppressed every other person. You'll be so terrified to talk. In fact, some of the wise men in darkness, what they do is, when they are going out for campaign, they will carry some things from some strange quarters, give them, they will chew it. They will now come. You will mobilize to come and attack them. When they stand up and talk for 5 minutes, everybody will say, it's okay, it's okay. This man is a good man. This man, this man is a good, let's follow this man. He knows it's not what he said, it's what he chewed. And then the moment he enters office, the scale will fall off everybody's eyes. And they are saying, how did we elect this person? You voted for him. You were sweating and shouting and say, we no go agree, we no go agree. Hope you know this same thing happening in this country. Some of us here, we are guilty. We had some. We had darkness. If you know how many of you fought for this government 8 years ago, some of you quarreled. What do you mean? This is the only change we are looking for. Here we are. Welcome to the real change. People who have knowledge, they were doing business in deeper waters. You carry your medical knowledge. Doctor, you are a doctor. You are dealing with paracetamol. You now stand and say, come on, I'm a learned man. I know what is right from wrong. Who told you you know? After 8 years, you now know that you are dwarfed. That where true knowledge is, medical science is kindergarten. Some came and said, listen, I'm a barrister. I know the law. I am a man. After they chewed things and spoke, others said, they listen, I'm not a small boy. Look at my face. I'm 60 years old. I know what is good when I see it. We mobilized ourselves, voted. Hi. Spiritual illiteracy. You needed to see the Nigerians that were sitting in front of TV collating result. They were collating. Before they announced it, people were already uploading the results everywhere. You needed to see the jubilation. In fact, the only thing Goodluck Jonathan did that made people not to kill him was when he came to concede. They now say he's lucky. Let's forgive him. Now our Messiah has come. Receive your Messiah in a white garment. It's called knowledge. Knowledge. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You can read 10 encyclopedias, you are still an illiterate. Because there they conjure the souls of men. They manipulate the souls of men. It's deeper than information. So life and death is in knowledge. Glory and reproach is also in knowledge. And finally, access and authority level is also in knowledge. There's a knowledge you touch now, you will gain certain access. You see, don't manipulate. Just have knowledge. There's a knowledge you will have now. If you sing here, it will take 6 months for your itinerary to be free. There's a knowledge you will have. You will just share something for 5 minutes. People will be looking for you everywhere. They just want you to come and stand where they are standing. So instead of manipulating and cutting corners, seek the true knowledge that comes from the realms of light. When you touch it, you have authority.